Clark. Vicky Grubb, assieds-toi là-dessus. C'est ton des. C'est ton des.
This month and this season, we're going to do something a little bit different with the Sit on This podcast and introduce you to some upholstery suppliers. Today, we're very excited to be invited to the Mirka headquarters in Milton Keynes, and we have Neil with us, who's going to be talking us through some of the amazing products they have here for sanding and refinishing furniture. As upholsterers, obviously, we take part furniture, we take everything off, and
we strip it back to the frame.
We absolutely do. And so we actually wanted to learn a little bit more about how to refinish the wood properly.
Yeah.
And so we've made it up here to Milton Keynes Stay. So thank you so much,
It's been
Neil.
a thorough education, actually. It's been really interesting, really learning about the different types of abrasives and all the variety of like sanding equipment you've got here. It's truly remarkable. So
Thank you. So Neil, tell us a bit about Mirka. What is Mirka?
Well, Mirka's actually been going nearly slightly over 80 years now. 80 years, started in 1943.
Wow.
Started in northern Finland, placed right up near the Arctic Circle, a place called Jeppo in Finland. They have a huge production site there now. All of the abrasives that we sell, we manufacture in-house, discs, belts, rolls, and then they started down the power tool route probably about 15 years or so ago. They started to develop tools just for sanding. So we'll never make drills or anything like that.
No.
We're a sanding company.
Yeah.
And the tools that we make support the abrasives that we make, which is very much the core of what our business is.
yeah.
But it's not just any old sanding, is it? Because
And not just any old abrasives either.
No. So
Yeah.
Well, you're absolutely right. So sanding is a catch-all term, but actually there's so many different aspects to it. There's so many different results that you need, different substrates that you're sanding against. You can't just have a one solution to everything. So what Mirka have done in all that time is develop different products for different applications. And the biggest turning point for Mirka and for sanding sort of overall was when they came up with a concept called abranet. And abranet is a net abrasive, so it has mesh.
How do you pronounce that again?
Abranet.
Abranet.
Yeah, it's like
abracadabra.
abrasive net. Yeah.
Abranet. Cool.
And so it's a Mirka concept that they've actually now developed even further into a second generation version. But the whole concept was when you're sanding, you immediately start to build up a clogging on the paper. It's all the dust and the resin that comes out of the wood. Because it's hot, it turns into a paste basically.
Yeah.
It sticks into
I've noticed that when I used to sand, it used to drive me nuts.
And it's horrible because once it clogs onto the paper stops sanding.
Yeah.
So you'll be rubbing or you'll be using a sanding machine, but it's not actually cutting. So it feels like you're taking ages. And then you lift the machine away and you look at what you've done and it doesn't look any good anyway.
yeah, and also you feel like you're changing the sandpaper every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I get like sandpaper anxiety. It's like I've already got a few sheets left. I've got to do some legs. If I run out of sheets, I can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So by creating a mesh and by layering the abrasive across the mesh, you have all of these holes. And you use a dust extraction unit, any kind of suitable dust extraction unit will start suctioning. And then now when you're sanding, those little particles of dust, instead of sticking into the abrasive,
Passing straight through.
Exactly. They pass straight through and down into your extraction unit, a bag in your extraction unit. And that gives you a number of benefits. The biggest one is that because your abrasive doesn't clog up anymore, you're cutting all the time.
Yeah.
So there's
It's more efficient.
Exactly. So you'll spend less time sanding, which is good because nobody actually likes sanding in my experience. It's boring and it's repetitive. And
It can be quite meditative.
Well, okay.
No, I'm in agreement with you.
Oh,
and
fair
actually, Ray and I went downstairs earlier and we actually had a little go at using your products. And I was absolutely astounded just how quickly we got through sanding the leg of the chair. I mean, within seconds, we had taken off the varnish.
Yeah. And the first coat stain or whatever that was.
Yeah.
And then you can get onto the part of the job that you like the most, the upholstery part of it.
Yeah,
this is really preparation.
Yeah.
And we kind of want to get that done correctly, but we also want to get it done quickly. And that's the biggest benefit of abranet. But then the second benefit of abranet is that because you're suctioning the dust into this extraction unit, your work environment is going to be a lot pleasanter as well. You're not going to have that dust floating around. You're not going to be breathing that in. And so that's a huge benefit as well.
So is abranet like a more sustainable option to the traditional sandpapers?
So the way to think of it is because it lasts longer than a traditional bit of paper wood, you're going to get more life out of it. Then yes, that product has more value, if you like. It's you're not throwing it away as quickly. It's
Right.
not as disposable. Unfortunately, when it's used, you'll still put it in the bin.
Right.
But that's something that Mirka actually have very good plans for in the future. We're already in the process of building a factory that will allow us to recycle used abrasives and recover the grains. So that's kind of the next stage for us.
Yeah. So you become completely circular.
Yeah, well, that's the goal. That's the goal, yeah.
Which is kind of quite poetic when you think of the machines that they use.
So we already take the waste materials. So when you think about making a disc, they're always stamped out of rolls, like very, very large jumbo rolls, we call them. So there's always some waste.
Is it not woven?
Well, so Abronet's ever so slightly different from normal paper, but there's still a bit of waste when you create the discs. So you're weaving a large strip basically and then creating the discs. So that waste, we actually on site, we take that waste and we're able to burn that, use fuel to power the site, and then we also recover those grains that we can then reuse. So it's a very forward-thinking site in Finland. In Finland, they're super keen on the sustainability side of it.
Moving on to the actual tools.
Yes.
I used a couple of different ones. I used a square sander and a little rotary sander. Can you tell us a bit about what you would advise upholsterers to use?
Absolutely. So we actually do a huge range of tools. We do 10 or 12 different types of tools because there are so many different aspects to sanding. So if you were sanding something that was very flat, we would actually advise using a random orbit sander, which is the round ones. They're either 150 mil or 125 mil.
Like that.
Exactly right. Exactly right. They're very comfortable to use. They're very lightweight. The Mirka tools are designed to be ergonomic, so they're comfortable in your hand. But this kind of machine here would be perfect for large flat surfaces. Where this falls down, because it's round, it's not great at getting into those edges or the detail side of it. And so for that, we would recommend either the rectangular one that you just tried, or we also do a triangular version as well, which has they're both the same idea. They're to get into tighter spaces. And then if all of those are still too big for what you're doing, and I appreciate with some of those chairs that you've shown me, there's a lot of very, very tight spaces that you're trying to get into. So for that, we have a much, much smaller angled sander, which has a 34 mil head. And that is great for those sort of tight spaces, either with a battery or with a pneumatic power source.
I was just thinking about the different types of surfaces. So can you use the little rotary sander on metal, or is it just for wood? Fiberglass, we use lots of different materials.
Different substrates.
Yeah.
Like on egg chairs, for instance, they're made from fiberglass. So like once we peel off the old layers of upholstery, like there's this fiberglass shell, and then it's usually covered in a thin layer of foam.
Right.
Once we scrape off the foam, you've got like the fiberglass shell, and you might want to take off some of the old adhesive that's on the fiberglass.
Yeah.
So you sand that off before you reapply a new substrate of foam. But one of those sanders might be really good for. Thing is, like I'm thinking of an egg chair, so it's constantly curved. So you'd need something that could kind of handle that radius, those radiuses.
So basically, with the machines, they'll work on all the different substrates that you could think of. What you really got to think about is your abrasive choice.
Right.
You know, are you using the right abrasive to cut into that substrate?
Right.
Do you need a more aggressive abrasive? Do you need one that has a ceramic grain in it, like our Abronet Ace product, or something with an aluminium oxide, like a more standard product? So I would say that's a more important question for you about what you're sanding is what kind of abrasive I'm using. The other thing just to bear in mind is when you're using different substrates, you've got to be aware of the dust extraction. It's super important if you're using dangerous substances like fiberglass. It's very important that you have that good extraction coming through.
And
you can get that dust away.
Well.
Yeah. You got to have the masks on, even with a good dust extraction unit for products like that.
So that facility that you took us to just downstairs, is you train all your staff with that?
Yeah, and we bring customers there. So this facility, we've had in operation now since just after COVID. It's a beautiful site where we have all of the tools ready to go. Our customers come and they try things out. We come up with solutions for a lot of our larger customers. They'll want a whole process designing basically for that particular application.
So it's not just the sanders, it's the extraction and
the
types of abrasives.
And how many abrasives that you use. Some people are using too many abrasives. Some people will sand with 80 and 100 and 120 and 180 and 240, and they're making their job harder by doing too many steps.
Right.
And sometimes with a consultation with us, we can sort of refine that process a little bit. So maybe you use 2 or 3 steps instead of 4 or 5, and that saves you time as well.
Couple of things there. So you can actually use the products with a compressor, and you've got handheld cordless as well. So I think that's really great because obviously most upholsterers have a compressor.
Yeah.
So do you think that they would be able to fit into, say, a 50-litre Bambi, for example?
So it was something that you should always check. You should take a look.
Shouts out to Bambi, by the way. Sorry, I've got to do that.
If you want to use the air tools that we have, just go to your compressor. It usually tells you on the machine itself or perhaps in the manual. Just check that you've got the right level of pressure for the tool that you're getting.
In terms
but in
of
general,
bars or pounds per square inch. Or...
Yeah, the bars is the most important bit. Most of our tools have a 6.2 bar requirement. And assuming that your compressor's up to it, there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't use any of these tools.
But you could use a compressor which could deliver 6.2 bar or more, but only have a very small chamber, which means it has to keep recharging itself.
Yeah. So it might be quite noisy if you
don't
have the right size compressor. Yeah.
So we also do electric versions of most of the tools that you saw today. So if people would rather just plug directly into a power source, that's also an option. You tend to find the electric tools are a bit more of an investment up front.
Yeah.
But they're a bit more convenient.
Yeah.
So do we just come to Mirka if we want to buy your tools?
So we actually have a lot of different ways you can get our tools. We work with partners, with retailers, and if you just do a Google search, you can find someone close to you who will have stock, and you can go and pick the tools up and feel them for yourself and try and find a local trade shop. But yeah, it's a very available brand.
I'm going to be awkward now because that's my profession. There is another brand, like a tool brand out there, which also operates with like a yellow and black delivery.
It's a really well-known one as well.
Yeah, it's quite well known. So how do you distinguish yourselves? I mean, apart from the quality, obviously, of your tools. No disrespect to the other brand.
That really is where Mirka sits. Because we're sanding experts, we only have a range of sanders, and those sanders are designed to be the premium sanders. In terms of ergonomics, in terms of comfort factor, in terms of the low vibration, all of those things, our tools are better than any other brand that's out there. So that the tools do the talking for us.
Can you speak to us a bit about like the vibration, the aspect of some of your tools?
So it's just something you got to be aware of. Any tool that you use is going to give vibrations that are in your hand.
Vibrate. Everything vibrates. Do you know what I mean? Vibrations everywhere. No, seriously. Even this table, it might appear solid. Do you know what I mean? But if you look under a scanning electron microscope, all the atoms, everything's jumping around. Everything operates. Sorry, I had to get on it.
It's true that the science bandwagon.
But if somebody's
that's like metaphysical bandwagon, isn't it? That's like spiritual bandwagon. But anyway,
I mean, do you think though, with the vibration side of things, because you're not going to be sanding all day, are you? If you're doing a leg, it's like you're going to be doing it for like 20 minutes.
Anyway,
no, it's fine. It's really something that you should only be concerned about if you're sanding. We're talking about 5 or 6 hours within a day on a regular basis. If you're in that sort of level, you do need to be very aware of your exposure to vibrations. And our tools actually have measurement within them that you can see through an app how much exposure you've had. But for occasional use or maybe half an hour, 45 minutes in a day.
Or a couple of hours here and there.
A couple of, you're going to be okay.
It's not going to have a major impact.
You're going to be okay.
Mind you.
But
your arm's not going to vibrate off.
It's just something to be aware of. It's not just sanders. You'll pick up vibration from every single tool that you use. And if you have a tool in your hand all day long, you might start to, if your fingers tingle when you stop sanding or you stop using tools, it might be something you want to take a little look at.
You said something that I'm not being funny. I've just thought back in my memory. There have been times I've picked up tools in the past, sanders in the past, not Mirka ones, where I've, I
was telling you earlier about
a whole day sanding the frame of a chaise longue. Another whole day. I can't remember what I was sanding, but afterwards, my fingers were tingling. It's like, that's not good.
I've definitely had that before from my
and
grandma's.
Your ears are ringing as well.
Grandma's 1960s sander.
Yeah.
Your grandma had
well,
a sander
I mean,
1960s.
it was probably a 70s sander, but one that I borrowed to do my house renovation. I was sanding the floor and then afterwards my whole arm was just vibrating.
Yeah, you've got to use the right tools for the job. And they're remarkable, actually. They feel very, very well built, very solid, very premium.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But they are premium, aren't they? Because they're not cheap. They're not the cheapest on the market.
No, they're not. They've been designed to be the premium sanders first. mostly they find their way into professional workshops, into people who are sanding frequently all day, every day. If you're a sort of an occasional or hobbyist, they might seem like a big investment. It's something that you just kind of have to consider. For me, if I'm doing something and I'm doing it for enjoyment, I'm doing it as a passion project, as people who are upholstering, and you've been talking to me about some of your the people who are your students. It's very much a passion and a hobby. For me, I would want that hobby to be as enjoyable as possible. And the sanding, generally speaking, the sanding is the bit people hate the most.
Yeah.
It can be very, very unpleasant, and it can seem like it just goes on and on forever. So whilst it might feel a bit steep up front, if you're then making every single chair that you work on from then on easier and quicker, and there's less dust and all of that, it's probably worth it in the long run. Exactly. Yeah.
Neil, it's been wonderful. Like this whole experience, learning about your abrasives, the kit that you do.
And most importantly, getting our Parker Knowles sanded down, looking really great. At some point in the future, very near future, when we finish the chairs, we'll have to show you them.
I can't wait to come and sit on them.
Yeah.
Come and sit on them.
Yeah, you'll have to do a proper podcast.
So, just if people want to look at their tools online, how will they go about that?
The best thing is to start at our website. Go straight to the Mirka website.
Right.
All of the information about the tools is on there. We have videos of people using them. We have all of the various tech specs, and then you can find a local retailer and hopefully make your life a bit better.
Great. This has been amazing. Thank you very much for showing us your lovely setup here. Ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between, this has been Ray Clark, Vicky Grubb and Neil from Mirka, and we hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please like and subscribe, because that makes all the difference to us. And we'll see you again soon. Sit on this.
Sit on this. Sit on this.